Okay, so really quickly, all right, because I don't want to offend somebody. But right now, all I can really do is just have this dialogue with my audience. So if y'all don't like it, I mean, you gotta really think about that. Like, why don't you like it? Anyway, so from what I read, right, the situation is, it's not. This ain't something new. This is an old situation. It's been going back. We've been going back with it, right? It comes down to ideology, like I keep trying to tell y'all, right? His thinking is, all right, I can say whatever I want. I got my own thinking, and I could do what I want. That's his thinking, right? So now we got to make sense of that. Is it true? Should he live with no confidence? I mean, consequence? That's something y'all gotta imagine. Y'all forgot, y'all didn't know, something went said on the stage by the baby. He said something about doing something that he didn't approve of in the parking lot and said, you ain't his fan or something like that. You know, got a lot of backlash from that. He didn't necessarily understand what was going on. Came out with the crazy Joker thing, talking about he's the president and all that, which I deeply respect and honor. You know, but we gotta get into like how this got to this point. Because now I'm looking at the baby like, well, he on the edge now. And he don't need to be on the edge, all right? So here we go. We're gonna get this man off the edge. All right, basically, he felt like he didn't necessarily know what was going on. He didn't necessarily know the sensitivities involved. It's just something that he just said, right? So now it was like this whole push to try to educate him. I think Lady Gaga wanted to say something, Dua Lipa probably said a couple of things, fine stuff. But it was like, okay, well, can we get the message across? And then I think what occurred was, it was okay, well, we ain't gonna ever get the message across. And we ain't never gonna get the message across. And they're kind of like, well, this is a microcosm of black people. Black people have historically been homophobic. Whoa! Have historically been homophobic, right? Apparently, in the black community. Maybe because it's associated with Christianity, you know, associated with anti-post-colonialism, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but it's always been like, oh, that's not good. It's not natural. It's not normal. All right? And so this is something that he's standing on the shoulders of that kind of ideology. So y'all have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. When he says that, he is putting down the negative connotations of being gay, right? I don't think he's putting down the positive connotations of being gay, all right? So let's say you all about that. If you understand the difference, the gay, positive connotations, the bad ones, right? So the situation is, how exactly, where do you draw the line? You know, do you just never say anything bad and be scared of saying something? Or do you seek to educate yourself, right, on the issue so that you don't come off as an insensitive individual, right? So that's kind of like where we are. Like, we need to process this. Like, do we, especially when it comes to being black as a performer is a lot different than being a regular performer for multiple reasons, right? Regular performers, they can perform more places. They can transcend genres more freely, right? When you're black, it's like you can't really transcend genres. That's why I'm really surprised when I see electronic dance music DJs who are black. They were trying to say Harmony, whatever her name is. She's a pop singer, black pop singer. You see what's going on with The Weeknd. He's trying to be super duper pop, but they ain't letting him be pop, right? And so we gotta, you know, we really gotta think about that. They can't be pop because they're black. And if you think about, I ain't trying to get into this conversation. I know people, it turns people off to constantly be talking about, oh, everything came from black people, rock and roll, blah, 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 blah. And I get that part. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. Nobody wants to say that or hear that. And I get it. I don't want to hear it. I don't even like rock and roll. So why would I want to listen to the origins of rock and roll? But if you do get back to the origins, you'll see there's that black lady in Europe, whatever her name was. She played the guitar and sang. So, yes, we need to kind of start thinking critically. Yeah, we do. We got a lot going on. A lot of responsibilities in this music business, right? So, I think it's important to remember that. You can't say whatever you want to say as a musician, right? But as a person, individual, yeah, you can say whatever you want to say, right? But when you're in a centerpiece representing rock and roll is inclusive. Rock and roll is not about having a better demographic audience, right? It's like everybody's invited. So that's something that we really got to come to terms with. We think that what's missing right here in the situation, because I ain't seen much since that freestyle with Lil Wayne, which I think that Lil Wayne freestyle was really good. And it spoke to some of the interesting topics that we're trying to reach to. So it's N-word and word. We don't always have all the answers. We got mostly questions. So we're going to try to keep this one going. The same kind of static. Keep it popping. All right. Left my mask. We were paying attention about a month ago. The situation, I think, was very important to kind of draw some correlations with the baby, right? Y'all know what happened, whatever. We're dealing in kind of a sensitive situation right now when it comes to gender politics and stuff like that, and homophobia, and trying to understand that there's a fine line between expressing yourself and disrespecting other people. And by no means am I trying to be a perpetrator of that. I respect all people and individuals. I'm just trying to figure out, sort of from a perspective of philosopher, right? What's the best way for us to process this? So we know what happened. He said something that was overly disrespectful. And so we're going to a little bit, try to dissect it, figure out exactly what the cause was. And word. It's been a little bit since I've been able to check in with y'all. Obviously, just been kind of overwhelmed with my responsibilities and duties. But I think it's important to check in with y'all. I don't want to leave y'all hanging, man. I started this N-word and word concept show so we can bring to y'all some interesting concepts from books that I know y'all probably won't be reading. So I've done all the reading for y'all, and I'm still reading. So I got a bunch of books stacked up on my desk right now. I'm working on it. It's a lot of books written by African American authors, and it's talking about black ideologies and stuff like that, and ways authors have interpreted some of the cultural significances of being black, being a brown person. So we're in the process of really transcribing and translating. So that's gonna happen. This is going, yeah. So without further ado, let's get into this assessment.